Hello ladies and chaps, and a jolly good welcome to you. I am Curtier. Thank you very much for joining me for what I hope is a rather exciting video. This is a Q&A with the developers of Hellion. That's right, they very kindly agreed to come along, or one of their number to come along for a gaming session and a Q&A. Although they send Zika to play alongside me and one or two others, there are at least 2 or 3 other devs that do join us in the Discord for a quick chat and to answer questions more related to their expertise in the development team. I do try to introduce everybody that comes in, including other players and testers. However, it did get a little bit overwhelming and I kind of lost track. But I'd like to thank the devs for taking part, and furthermore, I'd very much like to thank the Hellion UK group for hosting it with a Discord, setting it all up for us to use, and for taking part as well, obviously. There are a few technical issues though. There is a bit of background noise, can't be helped. There's a few people that are live mic keying throughout parts of the video, and also I do get some audio loss, which is very unfortunate. And furthermore, the very first sort of 15 minutes of the game, we are basically overcoming bugs and glitches, which I'm actually quite happy the devs got to see, because they obviously, have experienced it firsthand, so hopefully it will get them to deal with it more. So hope you enjoy the video. It's going to be a long one, and yeah, hope you enjoy it. And as you can see, I am joined by 2 people here. I am joined by one of the devs today, Zika. Is that how you pronounce your name, sorry?
It's a nickname, but it's okay. Hi, guys.
Alright, cool. This is Zika. He's come to do a bit of a Q&A and gameplay with me. I'm also joined by Comatose.
How's it going, guys?
He's one of the testers, so he's come along to join me. And there's also Cheesy Jedi is still here, I believe.
Greetings. Hello.
Right, so ship's already docked up, so we can just head over to that now.
Alright.
There's a couple of canisters up here if either of you chaps want one. There's 3 of them there.
Yeah, I guess each person should have one. Safety first.
I've got one already on me, and I've just fallen down the hatch. Terrific. Oh. The omens aren't good, guys, because I've just glitched through the ship into space.
Well,
Good start.
that's a good start. Okay,
Oh,
just let me open the doors real quick for you.
Alright, I'm coming back in. Oh, Comatose, I've got to say, happy Independence Day.
I'm glad to be not associated with England anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're still waiting.
Yeah.
I think it's funny though. The Queen comes and checks on us every year.
Well, you need keeping in check, I guess, don't you?
Oh yeah, we're a bunch of barbarians.
Okay, let me know if you want to repressurize the cargo hold. Oh, you started it, right?
I've already started it, yeah.
Hello.
To anyone watching, this is Galactic Spiral, another one of the dev team. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Okay, let's go out. Okay, I'm gonna plot us a warp, guys. Just need to give myself some margin for error. Okay. Oh, I kind of forgot. We need to undock first.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah,
That's going. That would probably help.
I'll go do that.
Just make sure the doors are closed.
Okay. Right, we're undocked and we're clear.
Where did one of us go?
Yeah, seems that I glitched. Give me a second, I'll relog real quick.
You're a glitch.
Yeah. And this is another thing, that we're working on heavily. Avoiding this kind of thing. We're working on netcode improvements, to help optimize the communication between client and server.
Oh, jolly good. That actually was going to be my next question. I'll read it out to you anyway, because you kind of answered it a little bit, but can the devs please give us a small insight into how the optimization is progressing? For example, the culling of the culling of invisible and out of range polygons and textures, and the complex task of extending Unity to work with Hellion. Wow, that's a question and a half, that is.
Okay, I talked to one of our programmers and developers about that specifically, because I myself am not a programmer, so I'll try to relay what he said
yeah, sure,
as best as I can. What we're doing right now is working on implementing specific zones related to occlusion culling that are going to get working on introducing the full level of detail, you know, to optimize performance when you're getting closer to an object or moving away with it. And as a part of that rework, we're also working on reworking the interior of several scenes to make them we want to retain the visuals within the scene, but we're just simply going to optimize the scene slightly so that it puts a lot less stress on the PC.
Copy. Sounds like you got everything in hand. Comatose, you hearing that banging sound?
Yeah.
Can you guys depressurize an airlock from the inside, if possible?
Oh, that's probably what that noise was then.
Somebody trying to get in.
Yeah.
Keep stopping.
No, it's working good. In general, you know, these kind of problems are common at this point, but as I mentioned, we're working on improving them. And hopefully in a very near future, and no one's gonna have to worry about this kind of thing anymore. All right, so I'm sad we kind of forgot one dock, and I already had a warp maneuver plotted.
Do you need caffeine?
I have a question for you. It's slightly... Galactic Sparrow, you might be able to help us out with this question as well. It's not really game related.
Sure.
It's from one of our rather jolly testers. If the devs had to wear a superhero costume all day in the office, what superhero
Oh, I love this
imitate?
question. I read it and I was like, yes, I love this question. I personally,
far away.
I personally love cosplay. I'm a kid at heart, I guess. So I would wear the Dark Phoenix costume every day if I could.
Into the office.
Yeah. That kind of goes with my personality. I threaten people with a gun as it is, so it's a natural progression, I guess. I think that one of our co-workers would wear Batman's costume every day because he just talks like Batman. But the Lego Batman.
Okay, the same person who asked the superhero costume would also like to know, could you please tell us more about future AI plans? Will there be life forms and or machines that obviously will be AI controlled?
Well, I don't want to.
Are you able to tell us?
I don't want to reveal too much, but indeed,
yeah, of course.
most of the AI-controlled opponents and generally dangers that you can encounter in Hellion will be related to the fall of the expedition project, and that will mostly involve a number of drones, machines, or rogue AIs, things like that.
Oh, nice.
Because in theory, we are all imposters.
Ah. Ah, okay.
Well, maybe imposters is not exactly a proper word, but the general idea is we're not exactly authorized to run most of these systems.
Ah, I see, right, okay.
That's one of the reasons why turrets are immediately hostile, you know, and very few systems recognize the authorization. There's going to be a lot more of the story-related content coming in. And
right, nice.
The idea is to tie in that background story into player activities so that it kind of feels natural, and as you progress through the story you actually get to explore new areas and progress through the game itself.
Oh, terrific.
Okay, now let me see where I was with that warp maneuver. Okay, we're in warp, and I'm going to let someone else take the helm now.
This has been a question of mine since the very first day I played the game. You have a beautiful game, and I love when I warp into a system, but it seems like I'm staring at a blinding white wall, and I miss most of the entire event of warping into a system. Will it be tweaked later on, maybe?
There will be. We are working on several warp drive tweaks at the moment. How warp operates at this point, namely we're going to reduce the fuel consumption, then things like that. We're going to improve the speed, actually, to make it warping to another planet a bit more easier for the players, so a bit faster indeed. And we're also looking into the option of allowing people to warp with multiple docked objects, maybe at a cost of increasing the fuel consumption or something like that, to allow players to easily relocate their base at start.
Yeah, because the way the starting scene is right now with the CQM docked, sometimes, yeah. The only way really to get both of them is there's a bug where if you set your cryopod and then you warp the outpost away, with it being your authorization, you can make it back to the CQM as long as you don't have to log. It will still show the CQM as your home point. So there's that. That's the only way right now without having to do a distress call to get both in a new orbit.
That's one of the reasons we want to make it a little bit, how should I put it, user-friendly for people to move their bases. You know, as things stand now, it will require you either 3 or 4 jumps or 3 ships to fully relocate your base. So some of those tweaks are in the works, and as I said, part of the blinding white light is going to get reworked into a better effect.
That's good news.
That is very good news.
Okay, so where are we at this point?
Hold on.
What you mean?
Find my sextant.
We're heading for the derelict, yeah? Is that where we were aiming to go? Or the outpost?
I just did a scan, so we're at, I believe, one of the random contacts I found as an unknown. It was about 8.9 thousand kilometers away or something, so I'm not really sure where I warped us, so...
Well, we've got an outpost 3 kilometers away. We've got a derelict 12 kilometers away, which is actually what I'm heading towards. And there's a module 62 kilometers away.
Oh. Okay, let's see what it is.
Forgive me, I've still not managed to learn all the designations for all the modules yet, so I'm not sure what it is. Is it AC, ARG?
That's a
I don't know if...
Well,
yeah,
we just known as...
Yeah, we just barged into someone's starting location, I think.
Right, okay.
On the testing server, you can have some of the tweaks we've done on the radar, and these are going to come public rather soon, that make it a lot easier for players to actually find new contacts around large planets like gas giants, while still retaining some dose of limited scanning capacity when you're in the orbit of a moon and stuff like that. So still a work in progress, but should be able to find a lot more modules and derelicts floating around.
I'm struggling here. The frames. I've got 4 frames per second at the moment. It's
can't say I'm too happy about that, but
I think there will be many people happy.
Let the 1080 Ti brute force through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nav map is being reworked as we speak to eliminate all that frame rate drops and everything. It's going to be much smoother, much better performance in general.
Oh, okay, I've stood up. Do one of you chaps want to take over that? If I could throw another question your way, another one that you might not be able to answer because obviously it's things to come. How do the devs want to make the ship versus ship gameplay work? with multiple types of ship, or just the weaponry allowed for each type of ship?
Okay, so when it gets to ship-to-ship combat, we are looking into various systems we could introduce to the game. But for now, it's probably going to be the initial version is going to include weaponry for the existing ships at that point in the game that you can attach to the ship and then use them to a degree mostly automated, because as you can tell, most of our ships out here are pretty large, and they're not exactly cut out for fast-paced dogfighting that you can see in various other space shooter games. So our idea is to make ship-to-ship combat tactical, not too fast compared to, say, other games, but it needs to be tactical with various damage propagation and systems cutting out, and people actually having to work on repairing them or fixing them mid-combat and stuff like that. It's going to go through several iterations probably before it's introduced in full, but we have some interesting plans to do so. But for now, I think it's safe to say that we're going to have weaponry added to the ships, as well as perhaps a few smaller ships that could be slightly better at ship combat than others, and that's it.
Right. Oh, lovely, lovely. Sounds great.
On this mule, the blue lights on the outside of it, are those weapon pods? Those almost look like turrets that are in the ship.
The ones with the flashing light, you mean?
Yeah, on the outside, with the blue neon lights around them. They look like gun pods almost.
I'm not really sure about that, but I think some of those are, in fact, systems that allow our ship to warp, actually, the external components of it.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Right, chaps, if you would just bear with me a second, I'm just going to go AFK for 2 minutes while I quickly grab a cup of tea. You guys carry on talking, it's all still recording and stuff, so any questions you ask or answer, whatever, won't be missed.
All right, sure. We're almost there anyway, I think. Amadeus, you did a pretty good warp. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go.
I should have made it a warp 3, would have already been over.
Yeah, fair enough, but we'd be wasting a lot more fuel that way, wouldn't we? Although I think we have a full tank, actually.
I'm an American. I drive an SUV.
Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. Then again, what can I say? You know, this ship isn't exactly very fuel efficient.
No, Cheese was talking about it was a repurposed military vessel. So.
Yeah, I was reading in the glossary, and I was like, ooh, all of this information. Yeah, that's a really neat backstory to it, isn't it?
We're going to introduce a lot more. Mainly backstory is my work, basically, and we're going to introduce a lot more about the lore and the expedition. You know, for the people who want to get into the lore, they're going to get a lot more information soon.
I remember there was a blog actually that had a bit of political intrigue and some of the sort of beginnings of what spurred the expedition on, and that was really good as well. That's something actually I ended up reposting to the Hellion UK group.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Anyway, that story is going to make a comeback. It's going to be in the form of a glossary, and we're going to put in a lot more information regarding, say, the Altair Corporation, their relation to other corporations that created the expedition project, as well as their relation to UNE. So there's going to be a lot more lore coming, especially for those who are interested in it.
Yeah, it's definitely something that interests me,
flavour.
the backstory and stuff.
We're also working on a new way to deliver the story in a little bit more user-friendly manner. The logs you've seen in one of the previous versions. It's probably going to be similar to that, except that we're working on several other systems to kind of deliver that story in a more organized manner and allow player to track their progress through these logs. There's a lot of things coming, and not sure how. Well, there's a lot of work either way, you know, in many
Yeah.
aspects of the game, and we have a pretty decent team working on it at this point. So as far as the lore goes, the lore component about the history and background, you can expect that fairly shortly.
Oh, look, that's really good news. Regarding that, actually, I mean, it can kind of be linked up, I guess. I've got a question for you. Right, it's about single player standalone, basically. Is there going to be an option for that? Are you going to be implementing a single player sort of campaign or whatever you want to call it? I guess I mean, the way you just talking about the backstory. I mean, quite a lot of people might not be too bothered about the backstory. They just want a big open sort of sandbox PvP game. But I think obviously people more interested in the backstory may be more inclined to just want to play on their own, or local LAN mode or things like that. Is that an option you guys have discussed or planned for? Or it's not really something you really want to?
We've talked about it, but Hellion is and probably will remain throughout the entire course, especially during the early access, a multiplayer game. So there are no specific plans to create like a single player campaign mode, as you've said. However, I mean, people will always have the option to, how should I put it, use the private servers, you know, or lift up their own dedicated server, you know, so they can explore the story, you know, without too many problems. The thing is, as I said, once certain aspects of the game are introduced, you know, when some of the additional mechanics is introduced, there will be a lot more options for people who want to just follow the story, even on their own private server, you know, and it should provide quite a bit of enjoyment for them in playing like a lone survivor, trying to figure out what happened, why did the things fall apart, and stuff like that. So as a direct answer to your question, as I said, Hellion will remain a multiplayer only game. However, as I said, people will have the option to play through the lore portion of it, you know, and explore the locations on their own.
Yeah. Very good.
It's kind of a strange kind of a hybrid that we're trying to do with the open world survival genre and space survival, and to tie it all in with a background story that's going to be relevant and impactful for what players are doing in the world.
Thank you very much for watching up to this point. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of the Q&A session. There's probably going to be at least 1, possibly 2 more parts to come. A lot more questions to be answered and a bit more interesting gameplay. I'm aware that this wasn't an action-packed episode, but I think the questions in it were all quite relevant and very interesting answers as well. I'm sure you'd agree. The Hellion UK and the Hellion Discord links will both be in the description. Please come along and say hi to everyone. And please like and subscribe if you did like it and you'd like to see more, because there's going to be more Hellion videos to come. Please comment, tell me what you think of some of the answers and some of the questions as well. I am Curtier. I hope you have a very nice day and hope to see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.